The Supreme Court is deciding on major case involving Vice President JD Vance and money in politics. And as it stands now, there's a limit on how much wealthy donors can give to candidates. But Vice President Vance wants that law scrapped. Scripps News Washington correspondent Stephanie Liebergen live now outside of the Supreme Court. And Steph, you were inside the courtroom. What happened today?
Yeah, arguments just wrapped up, I'd say about 15 minutes ago. And the key issue, the central issue in this case is not changing the individual campaign contribution limit. So the amount of money that one single person can give directly to a candidate. That is staying the same. What the Republican committee groups filing here, and it was then Senator JD Vance, now of course Vice President Vance, what they're asking for is to eliminate the limits on coordinated campaign spending between political parties and the candidates. So for people that are opposed to this change, they're worried that an individual donor could give then an unlimited amount of sum to the party, but effectually they'd be giving that money directly to the candidate. Now, an interesting element about this case is that what the Supreme Court ultimately rules, which of course we're going to be waiting a few months for that decision, they might not ultimately rule on what it's called rule on the merits of this case. They might not ultimately issue an opinion that says this campaign contribution limit for coordinated donations to a political party. They might not address that limit at all. They might actually address this case purely on the standing. Do the Republican committees involved? So this case was filed by the Republican committees that help incumbents get reelected in the House and the Senate, and then by two individual candidates, a now former Republican candidate, and then of course Senator Vice President JD Vance. So what the court might do in this case is say, you know what, none of those, either the two committees or those two people, really have standing to bring this case. They don't have a legal footing in order to oppose this campaign contribution limit. If that is the case, the court could sidestep the underlying issue altogether, Holly. But of course, we'll have to wait and see. It's a little, I will not call myself an expert on trying to read the tea leaves on what exactly the justices might be thinking after the arguments today. But there, a couple of the liberal justices, Justice Sotomayor, Justice Kagan, definitely asked questions today expressing concern about potentially eliminating this limit and opening the door for unlimited campaign contributions, and to just have the amount of money that is spent on our politics and the amount of money spent on campaigns could, in their view, hypothetically skyrocket out of control if these limits are overturned, Holly.
Yeah, big story there. You may not be able to read the tea leaves, but we know you are always on top of the story. Scripps News Washington correspondent Stephanie Liebergen live for us. Thanks.